Okay, welcome everybody back to Steve Talks Boxing X 2024. Wow, Happy New Year and all that. Get that all out of the way now. This week we're back with a bang and certainly kicking it off with a great fight this weekend. We're talking about the light heavyweight fights, which is Artur Beterbiev against Callum Smith, courtesy of Sky Sports. Got this beauty of a fight, and joining me this week is Darren Aston. Thanks, Darren, for coming on the show again.
Good to be back on, Steve, once again.
Yeah, appreciate that. I've got all the New Year stuff out of the way. I'm sick of saying it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're going to kick off with this great fight. Like I said, Sky Sports has treated to this one to kick off the new year. First question to you, Darren. Do you think the WBC would be cheering on Smith for this fight?
Well, with the sanctioning of the Russian fighters, I will probably say you're right. Yeah. The only thing I would say is with things like that, I'm not a big fan of involving sort of political issues in sport. I wasn't a big fan of the way the WBC with the Russian fighters went about things. So, yeah, they'll probably cheering on Callum Smith behind closed doors. Yeah. But I don't like to. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they're the only ones who have taken that stance, haven't they? I think out of all the organisations.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, and like I say, I don't necessarily agree with it. I mean, at the end of the day, they're sportsmen, no matter what, sportsmen and women, no matter what country they come from. I don't think it should be involved in the issues with, the war and political issues. I just don't think it's right. But they're behind closed doors. They're probably cheering Callum Smith on.
They got their little Callum Smith flags waving.
Yeah. The British flags flying.
Yeah, definitely. With Beterbiev 38 now, just looking at this picture here, is age soon going to become a factor with him now?
Well, he's a very fit, near 39-year-old, just like myself.
Isn't his birthday next week or something like that? I think.
No. But I thought he was on about
me. Not your birthday.
Yeah, I think I read it was January the 20th or 21st, something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a superb athlete, boxer. Eventually, Father Time will catch up. I mean, from what we've seen in his last few fights, perhaps there's a hint of him slowing down a little, but he's still phenomenal for his age, and his record speaks for itself. And he's a superb quality operator.
Yeah, I know he's not had that many fights, so maybe he's not that sort of worn, a 38-year-old. He's been in, obviously, nothing mega grueling, I would say, fight-wise anyway, so.
Well, that's what I was going to say, like exactly what you've said. He hasn't been in any absolute wars. I mean, really, some of his victories, like Joe Smith Jr., he took apart with 2 rounds. The only really, Callum Johnson, he went like 3 or 4 rounds. I mean, the one really you could say, Anthony Yard was a great fight.
Battle. Yeah, that was a great fight.
Yeah.
And Yard, I think he done better than lots of people expected as well. He really put in a good fight there, didn't he?
He did, yeah. He done really well. Shame he didn't get the victory, but again, like you're saying, about Beterbiev, he's just superb. He managed to come through the fight. Yeah. And he's got that sort of mentality, like he's ready for war, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
He's just brilliant.
Exactly that. Eddie has tipped Smith to win. Obviously, he's a promoter, and he's already talking about Smith fighting Bivol next. Here's Eddie here. Is Eddie being a super keno for this one?
Well, he's trying to sell his own fight, isn't he? He's hoping for the best of Smith versus Bivol, really, because he obviously promotes both fighters, and that's what he wants to put on. He's obviously hyping his own fighter up, isn't he? Which he's got to do. I mean, as regards Smith's chances, I can see where Eddie Earn's coming from with his sort of predictions. which I'll come to later when I give my prediction for the fight.
Yeah, save that to the end, please.
Yeah, I will do. Yeah. But yeah, he promotes both fighters, so he's doing what he wants to do. He's hyping that fight up possibly for the future.
And like you said, he promotes both fighters. It's an easy fight to make, isn't it? Then surely you're promoting both, so and he's thinking, if Smith wins, it's a good fight for Bivol. Maybe Saudi again. I don't know.
Well, I was just going to say, maybe potentially that could be a fight where we maybe get in the UK, but the way it's going, maybe not.
I doubt it. I don't think we're going to see many big fights in the UK for a long time, judging by the sort of Saudi money what's on offer. With regards to Callum Smith at light heavy, is this his real first proper test?
Yeah, I think you've got to say so. I mean, what's he had? 2 relatively easy fights. I think he beat, was it Costello at Tottenham? Remember that vicious KO when his legs were shaking on the ground?
It was nice for that fight, and I was as well. Yeah, I heard the thud. It was sickening.
Yeah, it was really bad. I mean, like when I first saw him, and I saw his legs kicking. I thought, Jesus, the paramedics were on hand. I mean, the one thing you can say, he looks super powerful at the light heavyweight. And then he fought, I think it was Border League, which I think he won by stoppage again. I mean, the one thing you can say, he's looking super powerful, but at light heavyweight so far, he's not had a test nothing like he's got coming Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a very skillful boxer, Callum, but his tactics in this fight have got to be absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
How to get the victory, but again, I will come to that.
So save that. Talking of fights in the UK, obviously a lot going out to Saudi. Would you like to see this fight in the UK?
Oh, of course. I mean, it's one of them fights. Me and you as boxing fans, if we could get a ticket for this, we'd go to it. It's a great fight. But as we've just touched on, really, with the Saudi thing, it's that say if there was a rematch for this fight, if it was a close touch, it'd have been Saudi. That's the way. That's the way things are going. But I'd love to have seen this in Liverpool. But fair play. I mean, before the Saudi money and things come along. Not that this is in Saudi, but you had Frank Warren managed to put Anthony Yard and Beterbiev on in the UK. So it would have been nice to see this one as well. But not to be.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously it's in Canada, so I'm not too sure what time it's on actually, or what time it starts. But you planning to stay up, or are you going to watch that one in the morning?
I think I'm going to stay up, because I think from what I've seen of the I'll stay up for it. I think what I've seen from the times, I'm not sure it's going to be as late as normal. I think it might be a little bit earlier.
What? You're thinking maybe 2, 3?
I'm hoping so. I think it could be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you not going to do it? You're not going to do this one again?
I tend to. I say this always. I like to wake up in the morning, have a nice cup of coffee, avoid social media and my phone, and enjoy the fight. So fully awake rather than trying to stay awake, half asleep, and not really enjoy the fight or take it in. I've done it before and not enjoyed fights when I've been too tired and thinking, oh, this is rubbish, and then watched it the next day and thought, oh, this is a good fight actually. So. Just the time kicks in there.
Well, that's where you need a really good, exciting undercard, and from what I've seen, the undercard ain't much cop really. So you need to. That's where the undercard keeps you awake a little if it's good.
Well, you're literally hanging on for the main event for this one, I think.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, for this case, I was going to say, and if Beterbiev wins, again, let's look at this graphic. Will we finally get the Bivol fight? Obviously, that's with the WBC permitting that fight as well.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, we've already touched on it with the Saudi money. I can't see there be any problem for it. I mean, it's a monster fight that everyone would love to see. Callum Smith's in this to upset the apple cart of what the plans are. But I wouldn't say there's any hesitation that we wouldn't get this fight in the future, because the Saudi money will make sure that fight definitely happens.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, it's the money, and I think the unification fights. It could be a good year with obviously Usyk and Fury as well. The unification, we want to see the best fight the best, and
Absolutely.
surely if Beterbiev does win, we all want to see that Bivol fight, the two best fighters out there in the division fighting each other.
Well, I sort of feel like that fight would be the boxer versus it's probably disrespectful to call him the brawler, but the puncher.
Yeah.
You've got Bivol, who's very technically sound.
Technical. Yeah.
Then you've got Beterbiev, who wants to come in and have a war. So it would be the boxer versus the puncher, and it'd be a great fight. But Callum Smith's here to upset the apple cart. This weekend.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Beterbiev, obviously, 19 fights, 19 knockouts. Is this going to the cards?
I think it will.
Wow.
I've got a feeling it's going to. My reasoning for this, I'm not so sure Callum Smith's going to come in. If you remember the Canelo fight with Callum Smith, he was pretty much on the defensive, the way he fought to survive the 12 rounds. And you've got a big puncher in Canelo. I sort of feel that Smith will look to. He's saying about he can knock Beterbiev out. He's got the power. He possibly could, but I sort of feel Callum Smith's only going to engage in this when he needs to. Yeah. And I think Callum Smith could end up going the distance with him here, and it could end up being similar to the Canelo fight.
Yeah. But one thing as fans we don't want to see is Smith going mega defensive sort of survival mode. Do we? We've seen that so many fights before. Sort of, it's almost like a rabbit in the headlights sort of thing when you're up against a great boxer and you just go in there to survive.
Yeah. Well, that's what I feel like. No disrespect to him, but I feel the Canelo fight, he sort of went in survival mode from round one.
Yeah.
And I was going to say sort of fearful of Canelo's punches. I don't think he's fearful. I think like the step up in weight will help him here. I feel like his height should help him here. But I think when you've got a fearful puncher in Beterbiev, like I say, he's won all of them by stoppage. I think Callum's got to get his tactics absolutely spot on. And, I do think he could possibly nick the fight on points. I mean, Beterbiev's, like you'd say, he's never in the distance. Yeah. But I think if Callum can get his tactics right, he possibly could outbox Beterbiev, but he's got to be super squeaky clean what he does. And I think he is going to probably have to engage a little bit more than what he possibly might want to in this fight.
Yeah, he's got to be on his A+ game, is he?
Recently, 100%.
And he's away from home. We recently see Sonny Edwards against Bam Rodriguez. He had to, obviously, that was a tough fight for Sonny Edwards. Getting that away from home factor, with the home judges is a big factor, I think, anyway, when you're away from home.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, would Callum, if he boxed, would he absolutely have to box out of his skin to get a decision? The answer is probably yes. Whereas, it's the home advantage is going to be with Beterbiev.
Yeah,
I think Callum Smith can do it, but it's going to take an almighty game plan to get the job done.
Okay, what's your final prediction then, Darren? We come to that stage.
Well, I'm going to give you my prediction, and then I'm going to give you what I think is a great outside bet.
Okay, that's it.
Well, I would probably fancy Beterbiev on points.
So the first time he's going to go the distance.
Yeah, because I think Callum will be on his game plan to stifle him as such. But I think a good outside bet could be Callum Smith to win on points.
Okay. Have you checked out the odds on that already?
It was 5-1 when I last looked. So I think it was 5-1 for a stoppage, 5-1 for points. And I know some viewers might think, hang on, how can you have points one way? Yeah, I think it's 5-1 for Callum Smith to stop him.
That's crazy.
I think it's 5. Yeah, I think the overall just to win was 7-2 if you just had the win.
Yeah.
And I think, like I was just going to say, I think some people go, "Oh, how can you have points one way, points the other?" I just think like Beterbiev isn't going to be able to do his work in this fight like he can with a lot of others. Like Anthony Yard, for example.
Yeah.
Anthony Yard is a guy that likes to get aggressive as well.
Yeah.
Whereas Callum Smith, I feel, can box like a bit. If you put Callum Smith against Anthony Yard, I fancy Callum Smith to outbox him.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
you think
I look at these
more
different
technical?
scenarios.
Yeah.
Yeah, more technical. But with the home crowd, I'd probably say Beterbiev will get the nod. But it's yeah, I'm a bit on the fence with it, in all honesty.
Fence. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? Because it's that other one. Going back to Sonny Edwards' fight, my heart wanted obviously Sonny Edwards to win, but my head said, Bam Rodriguez. Pretty much the same with this fight. My heart is definitely with Smith, and my head said, my head says Beterbiev all the way. To be honest with you,
what do you think? Stoppage. Beterbiev stoppage.
I would say late. If you was to put me on the spot, which you have done, I would go for a late stoppage. Yeah, so definitely. I just think he's just too strong for him at the end of the day.
Would you think his age could be a factor though, or do you think like his age is?
We spoke about that, but I just don't think he's been in that heavy fights. He's not worn, like Derek Chisora has been in like mega battles all the time and stuff like that. I think he's quite fresh for a 38-year-old.
He is,
If that's such a thing in boxing, I think he's a fresh 38. So only time will tell, isn't it? Really, literally with age. He needs to put on a good performance to get the Bivol fight, and then I don't know, maybe unification, it'd be retirement. I'm not sure, So.
Well, there is a little bit of pressure with him actually in this fight. Everyone's touting about the Bivol fight, so there is a lot of pressure. But he's a man that deals with pressure. And
exactly. Yeah.
He always finds the shot to stop the fight. So the odds on obviously is a Beterbiev stoppage, but Callum Smith's a shrewd operator. The only thing I'd say about Callum Smith is there has been a few close fights he's had. Like, for example, I thought John Ryder could have nicked it against him when they fought before. Yeah. And then John Ryder put up a pretty dubious display against Canelo, and he was tough. But I think I look at all scenarios. Like I said, would I fancy Callum Smith to beat Yard? I'd say yeah. Whereas at times Beterbiev found it tough against Yard. So plenty of scenarios to look at. Yeah,
definitely. Well, you heard it here first. Darren's gone Beterbiev points. It's your first time he's going to go the distance, or a 5-1 bet on Smith on points. A cheeky little outsider.
Yeah, why not?
Bet. That's that fight covered. Always end the show with some short sort of ending questions for you, Darren, and we're going to go back to this one. Would you lend Jarrell Miller your car? Darren?
He wouldn't want to drive my car.
Fair enough.
But I wouldn't lend it him anyway. No, definitely not. I wouldn't want any repercussions off him if he damages my car. I wouldn't be starting him. That's for sure.
Yeah. That's such a bizarre one, isn't it? It really is. He's just earned his best payday, like forever. Put him back in the scene. Admittedly, he lost the fight, but
there's a part of me though, Steve, where I think Jarrell Miller bigged himself up in this fight that much against Dubois, which he led me to believe. I thought he'd be all wrong for Dubois, in all honesty. But fair play, Dubois got a great win. Yeah, but I think Jarrell Miller bigged himself up that much. I think he thought, I've got big future paydays to come here, and now that possibly gone.
Yeah,
because he was so poor.
Yeah. I was going to say that tweet was courtesy of Mr. Boxing Facts as well. Look him up; he does some great stuff. If you're into the old boxing humor as well,
funny guy.
Definitely worth looking up. Next one, this one, Conor Benn fighting again in the US, not in the UK. How do you feel on that? Is that a yes or a no for you?
Well, for what we got hyped up of, the Eubank fights, and I think I'd rather him fight Harlem Eubank than that guy. You know, I'd rather have seen that. I mean, he was talking about, oh, you ain't in my league. That fight's never going to happen. I think that fight for the British fans would have been better than what we're going to see
over
in America.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it lead to? Like, are we just going to carry on in America with him or what?
That's the thing, isn't it? Until obviously the British Boxing Board, we get like that is all cleared out the way. Is Conor Benn just going to continue fighting in America? But he can't have the fan base there, surely, as he does in the UK. So
it's a skip round the British border boxing control, isn't it? Like, they don't want to come here in case it, you know, he can't just get it on in a British ring here without, like, you know, sanctioning bodies from other countries and all things like that. It's just, you know, they've got to get it sorted. Conor Benn is a UK fighter. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, they need to do one thing or other, and same with Eddie promoting. He needs to do one thing. I can't imagine Conor wants to carry on fighting in America. He's UK-based fans. The big fights are in the UK. I don't think they're in America. They don't know really who he is. To be honest with you.
Well, can you see many people? Can you see many people staying up to watch that fight?
No,
in the UK.
No, that's my short answer. Again, that'd be one I'll probably watch in the morning.
No, to be fair, that one I would do that with that one, because if it was someone more interesting as an opponent, no problem. But I've just got there's no real oomph for me in that fight, really.
Yeah,
and that's where it lacks.
Yeah, and next one, AJ Ngannou just recently announced for March. Wow, I thought when I saw that announced, what's that? A yes or no for you then?
Well, I think I wasn't in favour of Fury and Ngannou. I'm not particularly in favour of this fight, but the intrigue is what he did with Fury. So the intrigue and the sell is there because of that. Was it a one-off? Will he do it again? There's all the question marks that will be answered in this fight.
Yeah.
I would rather have seen AJ versus Zhang.
Yeah.
I'd rather have seen that. I'd have probably rather seen AJ versus Parker after watching him against Wilder.
Yeah.
But is this the intrigue? I think I tweeted about it the other day. We know what the promotional plan is with Eddie Hearn. AJ dealt with Wallin far easier than Fury, and if AJ deals with Ngannou well, it'll be he dealt with. You know how it's going to go.
Yeah, it's easy money fight, isn't it? And Saudi again, easy money. I know you touched on Zhang there. I think there's been I just heard today rumours on the undercard to get Parker back out there, potential opponent Zhang or Hrgovic. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Brilliant fights. I also seen they were talking Zhang Wilder, which, you know, I'd watch that as well.
100%. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But like the intrigue is of what he's done with Fury. But the only thing I don't like with these fights, they're 10 rounders.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
No.
I want 12.
Yeah. I think AJ would be quite comfortable with that. I think maybe I don't know. Like I said, it's a bit of a funny fight. See if you can do better than Fury. Look, after the Wallin fight, I've done better than Fury in that fight. Oh, can I do better than Fury? Is it?
That's what it is, yeah.
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Joshua outboxes him.
Yeah, me too.
I don't particularly think he stops him, and I'm not particularly sure he'll go for broke too much, just in case.
He won't need to. No, he won't need to.
No, he'll do an Andy Ruiz 2 job type of thing.
Yeah, play it safe. Yeah.
Last
one for you, Darren. Obviously, it's early stage of 2024, but what fight would you like to see this year out of all of them? If you had to pick one fight, what would you like to see?
Can I give you I was going to say, can I give you a domestic one? And I was going to give you a sort of worldwide one. I'd like to see Woodworth Warrington 2.
Brilliant.
Because I thought the first fight was tremendous and I attended it. And I thought, you know, there's two tales to that fight. Warrington was comfortably outboxing Lee Wood, rocked him loads of times, then Wood finds the shot again.
Yeah.
Bit of a controversial stoppage, but, you know, it was it was a stoppage.
Yeah.
So that's one fight. And then the other one
happened, couldn't it, really? Hopefully.
Well, Yeah, and I'd like to see it at the Nottingham Forest ground as well.
Yeah.
Like they are touting, but we see a lot of these football grounds being spoke about, and then they don't come off. So
yeah,
let's see. And the other one I was going to say is which leads to a long way down the line. But if things go to plan, and AJ beats Ngannou, Fury beats Usyk, AJ beats Hrgovic for an IBF, Fury beats Usyk possibly in a rematch if there is one. I would like to see Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua.
Oh wow, I think that's everyone's dream, Darren, isn't it?
Possibly at the end of 2024.
And can we say please in the UK? Would that be too much?
Well, that's what I was going to come to next. I was going to say, and the reason why I think that fight you might get now if all things go to plan, but whether they do, because I don't know about Usyk Fury, I'm 50-50 with that one. Okay. But with Saudi money, you will possibly be able to get Fury and Joshua now. But do we want it in Saudi?
No. As UK fight fans, two of the best heavyweights, we want to see this in the UK, don't we? So
of course, yeah. Wembley Stadium, sell it out, brilliant.
Yeah. Whether it happens or not.
Well, I was just going to say, I said at the end of 2024 as well, but are you going to do Wembley in the winter?
No.
But we have before, I suppose. We've done. If you can do Chisora Fury in the winter, you can do that fight.
I know it is freezing. Wrap up if you are going. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
No, that's brilliant, Darren. Well, that's it for this week's show. Really appreciate you coming on, Darren. Great to have you back again. Next week we are reviewing the Jonas versus Mayer fight. So stay tuned for that one. Still need the subscriptions, likes, comments, always appreciated. But appreciate time, and obviously enjoy the fight on Saturday. If you're staying up, you may have some beers and snacks. Good luck, Darren, staying up. So
right.
But yeah, otherwise enjoy the fights and goodbye. Steve Talks.